meeting to order. Please rise for a moment of silent prayer, followed by the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to request the clerk call the roll.
Basson?
Here.
Weigelt?
Here.
Bratton?
Here.
Benvenuto?
Here.
Stats? Keaveney?
Here.
Nair?
You betcha.
Lull? Riley?
Here.
And Bosney?
Here.
Craig?
Here.
Chipkowski? Livonia? Sterling?
Here.
Cross?
Here.
Moore?
Yo.
Hughes?
Here.
Scalera?
Here.
Guzzi?
Here.
Teal? Morel?
Here.
Knott?
Here.
Skoda?
Here.
2847 present, 688 absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you. I need a motion to pay the bills, accept the treasurer's report, and file the minutes within the clerk's office.
So moved.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. I'd like to ask the sheriff to come up front. Timing is everything. Seems like he's out on the phone, but. Come up.
Oh, we're waiting for the state, I still believe, right?
Okay, then we'll just, you want us to wait a while? And we'll
Yeah, I'm trying to call the executive director. It was verified earlier today, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
I can give a couple speeches.
So we're going to move on to the clerk reading the resolutions.
Resolution 379 of 2017 by Supervisor Scalera, 380 by Scalera, 381 by Nair, 382 by Craig, 383 by Keaveney, 384 by Keaveney, 385 by Knott, 386 by Knott, 387 by Benvenuto, 388 by Supervisor Basson.
Supervisor Basson.
Mr. Chairman, I offer these resolutions for adoption.
Just with a quick edit, I thought 381 we were taking.
I apologize, 381 was pulled.
Sorry to interrupt. but,
Thank you.
So I second the motion, absent 381.
You okay with that?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 389 of 2017 by Supervisor Scalera, 390 by Nair, 391 by Craig, 392 by Keaveney, 393 by Keaveney, 394 by Knott, 395 by Knott, 396 by Benvenuto, 397 by Basson, 398 by Scalera, 399 by Supervisor Nair.
Supervisor Nair.
I was kidding. Mr. Chairman, I offer these resolutions for adoption.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 400 of 2017 by Supervisor Craig. 401 was pulled. 402 by Supervisor Keaveney, 403 by Keaveney, 404 by Knott, 405 by Benvenuto, 406 by Benvenuto, 407 by Basson, 408 by Scalera, 409 by Nair, and 410 by Supervisor Craig.
Supervisor Craig.
Mr. Chairman, I offer these resolutions for adoption.
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution 411 of 2017 by Supervisor Keaveney, 412 by Keaveney, 413 by Knott, 414 by Benvenuto, 415 by Benvenuto, 416 by Basson, and 417 by Supervisor Scalera.
Supervisor Scalera.
Mr. Chairman, I offer these resolutions for adoption.
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Supervisor Hughes, you want to?
Sure. Actually, Mr. Chairman, we'll have a couple issues. The first quick issue is, for those who don't know, today I heard from the Commissioner at DSS, through the hard work of all of us in this room, Chairman Morrell and Chairman of Human Services, we started our bus to the college today. Today was the first day. We know that we're going to have hiccups, but the route that, as was outlined, we're going to have laminates so people can show where that route is going from Philmont through Clark, coming through Stockport, Greenport, and the city of Hudson. Now, with that being said, we have been having long conversations, so if we can find where there's a congregate of people, we will try at all our best to extend the bus route to other areas. During the pilot, we initially just tried to do it so it was economically feasible, and also that we will hit where the largest amounts of crowds we believe will be attending the college. Now, we know that other entities are interested in the bus, and so we're going to have conversations with them. So you as supervisors, if you notice that there's a tick up in your town in interest, please reach out to either the chairman, myself, or the commissioner at DSS. And we will certainly, bring you to the table to discuss it a little further. The other issue I have, I don't know if the sheriff is coming up. But if not, I just want to take a few minutes, and this one's a little more personal, and I know some of us might not want to talk about it, but I think we should talk about it. Today, in today's society, we know as politics, we're becoming more and more polarized. I think it is dividing us at the national level, but here on the local level, we all want the same thing. I firmly believe that. I mean, I see a lot of you guys in this room as friends. But not only that, we don't always agree. Sometimes we decide that we're going to debate how we get to the core root of the issue. Well, the issue I want to talk about today, and I want us to discuss this as a group. So this isn't to try to be, this isn't to try to bring any discord between us, but I want us to discuss this as a group. So when I saw the incident in Vegas, I was angry. I'm sure a lot of you in this room were angry. And then I got upset at the fact that I think legislators didn't do enough to try to prevent incidents like this. And then I was sad as they started pasting all the faces of the moms and the dads, off-duty police officers, military people, who are come back, fighting for our country, to come back only to be slaughtered on their land with senseless violence. And then that brings back to us this discussion around gun control, how we go about selling guns, and using guns. So the first thing I want to say, and I'm going to say this to a camera, I am a registered Democrat, and I do not want to take your guns. In fact, I have many of my own. And I think that should be the conversation starter, not the conversation end. We should start with the fact that we deserve and we have a right to own our guns. But with that being said, we also need to have a discussion on what does that mean? Should we allow people to have bunch stocks? I mean, some of us in this room who are gun enthusiasts probably know what they are. We know that there are other kits out there that you can use to bring your guns up to where they become automatic or rapid fire. We shouldn't allow, I believe, this is my opinion, and we could talk about this. I just do not believe we should have a society to where we can modify our guns for mass carnage. I don't understand that. There are other things we can talk about back here, about the background checks, checking people's mental capacity. But we need to have a more broader discussion. If they don't want to discuss it on the national level because of all the support, let's start it here on this level. Because as we all know, politics are local, right? When we talk about politics, we start here anyway, and most times at the kitchen table. I mean, but us as sportsmen, I know there's a lot of us in here as sportsmen, right? When we go in the woods, raise your hand if you go in the woods with the thought that you need more than one shot. Right? I've been a sportsman my whole life, and one of the first things my father would always tell me, one shot, right? We don't need semi-automatic weapons. How many bullets we need in the chamber? Look, I'm an enthusiast too. I know we like to go out and shoot, but do we need rapid fire weapons to do that? Do we need tracer bullets? Do we need armor-piercing bullets? Do we need all these kinds of things in society? Whereas when they get into the wrong hands, what do? Produce mass carnage. So I just think that if all of us here, we are enthusiasts, we are sportsmen, and some of us are probably members of the NRA. If we as local legislators, talk about this issue and agree that it is not a party issue. This is a people issue. We're talking about people here. If we, as people, will sit down and talk to our neighbors and decide that we're not going to disagree on this issue, that we can meet somewhere in the middle. Not everybody's going to get everything. Let's meet in the middle on this. We can come up with good legislation around this issue. I firmly believe that. I mean, we've proven that here, right? We don't always agree. We come up, I think in the last 3 or 4 years, we've come up with great legislation. So I think, talking about, for example, the SAFE Act, I think that thing is fraught with all kinds of stuff in there. Would I vote for it? Probably not. Certainly not through the message of necessity, because I believe it warrants a big discussion around it. But it does make a point that we need to do something, right? And what that something is, I don't know. But I know one thing I do know, there are a lot of smart people in this room. There are a lot of smart people nationwide, and we have a lot of people in here who knows a lot about guns, who probably could come up with legislation better than what we've been coming up with. I just say, hopefully nationwide, as we start to have talks at our kitchen table, a lot of us as sportsmen in here start to have conversations, that we can actually drive our country to come up with sensitive legislation around this issue, because we just can't continue to do what we're doing right now, and that's nothing. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any other supervisors? I did want to say that tomorrow in Germantown, Germantown is hosting an opioid forum, which will be the 4th of forum that we've done in the county, where county agencies are going to talk about the services that county agencies are currently providing. And part of the reason for that was that we realized that a lot of the public didn't realize the magnitude of services that the county was providing. So that'll be tomorrow at 6 p.m. I think before that, at 5 o'clock, there's a Narcan training for interested people, and then followed at 6 with the forum. So everyone's welcome to attend. I feel they've been highly successful in the areas where we've done them, and very informative for the public. Okay, they're here?
No, we can't get a hold of them, so we don't know if something happened to them, but we'll just go ahead with it, and I can talk about it.
Okay. Come on up, Cheryl.
Thanks. All right, good evening, everyone. I apologize for the mix-up. Executive Director Peter Keogh is on his way down here. He's usually very punctual, and we're actually kind of worried about it. Nobody can get a hold of him right now. So I just spoke to one of the other attorneys in the State Sheriff's Association. He can't get a hold of him. The secretary can't get a hold of him, so we don't know if something happened or what.
CFC? I'm sorry, what's the abbreviation? You
What?
said someone from the...
Oh, the State Sheriff's Association. A couple years ago, several years ago, when I was a captain, we started the accreditation program in law enforcement. And I stood here before you, and we were law enforcement accredited. I'm proud to say, actually, this year, we went through our 3rd cycle for law enforcement accreditation. So it's a pretty good thing that we're doing this, very professional. Our standards and policies are all up to date. And it's a feather in our cap, because out of the roughly 540 police agencies in the state of New York, 150 of them are accredited. So that's roughly 28% of these police agencies in the state of New York that are actually accredited. So I'm pretty proud about that, because I was the first accreditation manager actually here in Columbia County that did that. Then we went corrections. Captain Davey and now Under Sheriff Davey did that. We've already gone through 2 cycles, and actually the 3rd cycle for that will be next year. Then this year, we did, last year actually, we did civil accreditation under my command. And that, again, goes over policies and procedures. The final division that we could do was security services, because there is none for emergency management. I'm proud to say this year, with the help of these 2 gentlemen right here, First Sergeant Bray and Deputy Stelling, we successfully completed our security services accreditation. Now, there's roughly about 57 sheriff's offices in the state of New York, not counting New York City, then it'll be 58. Out of those, 8 or 9 are accredited, and they're pretty much out in the western part of the state. So it's a real feather in our cap. I'm extremely proud because it came under my command, but I could not have done it without these two gentlemen here. Louis was in charge of the Security Services Division at that particular time, oversaw the program, made sure it was running correctly, but the real guy that did all the work was Deputy Stelling. Worked his tail off, got all of our policies and procedures in order, which we already had them there, but we had to tweak a few things. And then we had a very, very tough accreditation process that we went through. And this girl that came from Wayne County, she was tough. And she went through everything and we passed with flying colors. So again, tonight we were supposed to be presented with the certification. And actually these two gentlemen were going to receive certificates also, which they didn't know, from the New York State Sheriff's Association for your professionalism and what you did throughout the process. Again, this is no easy task. This is hours and hours and hours of working on this, getting everything set and getting it ready to go. When they do this, again, looking at policies, looking at procedures, making sure our training is correct, but they also interview staff. And they'll just grab them randomly. Come in, hey, come here, deputy. Excuse me, can I help you? They'll go talk to judges. They'll go talk to the court staff. They'll talk to OCA. So I'm very, very proud of this. I wanted to bring this to you, ladies and gentlemen, attention tonight. And again, I apologize. Hopefully Peter's okay. I'm kind of concerned about him right now. And just wanted to let you know as far as what we did here at the office, Mr. Chairman. And as far as I'm concerned, I've got the best group of men and women here in New York State that work for me and work for us here. And thank you for giving us your time.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
So, Mr. Chairman, one thing I want to mention, it was probably about a year ago since I spoke to all of you on the floor about diversity within the workforce, especially in law enforcement and working with the LEDI program, which the sheriff was a part of. I just want to announce that since that time, the sheriff has been working on diversifying. We're still working on the sheriff department. We're working on diversifying the corrections department, and we've hired a few minorities since that conversation, and we're working on getting more trained and getting more hired. So I certainly want to commend you for that as well.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn, but once we adjourn, I'd like everyone to take a moment of silence for Judge Bob Moore, who passed away, who was a 40-year judge in the town of Livingston, and also for the victims in Las Vegas. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion, Judge Chairman.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.